Southern Sports Network. On the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield, presented by Morris Bank, this is Hail Southern Live. Live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Coming up, your all-access pass into Georgia Southern Athletics. Hail Southern Live is brought to you by Morris Bank. It pays to bank blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC. Eagle Nation Collective, the official NIL collective of Georgia Southern Athletics. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Please enjoy responsibly. Optum Orthopedics, your team, your community, your freedom. Optum Orthopedics, they're here for you. And by Savannah Hilton Head International Airport and the Savannah Airport Commission. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now let's head live inside Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Eagle Nation, it is great to see you again. It's another Monday night inside Wild Wing Cafe, so it's time for Hail Southern Live on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. 4 games left in the Georgia Southern football season. It continues with another road clash on Saturday in Mobile. 7:30 Eastern kick. Georgia Southern takes on the South Alabama Jaguars. Both teams are 3-1 in conference play. This is the first of 2 games that the Eagles will play in consecutive weeks against schools from the West. We'll be live at 5:30 with the Cutwater Spirits tailgate show all across the network. Head coach Clay Helton will join us in just a little bit, as will defensive back Marc Stampley. He was the number 0 last week, came up with the sack and the forced fumble the previous Thursday against Old Dominion. Any questions or comments this evening, you can submit those on Facebook Live, or you can send us a tweet at GS Sports Network. Men's tennis for the next 10 minutes. Please welcome in head coach Andrew Goodwin to Wild Wing Cafe. One of my favorite people. What's going on?
Danny, how are we doing?
Well, I'm wondering how you're doing, because you just came from the staff trick or treat, so you probably have a story or two that you can share with us.
From tonight, our guys did a great job. We didn't really do anything with our tennis, but threw our frisbee around and got some pickleball going and had a great time. But
all right, what was the best costume you saw tonight?
Best costume, I'd have to go with my assistant. He dressed up as a tiger. I love that. Very simple, and had a young kid dressed as a hot dog. I love a classic costume like that. Just good food.
Do you have a favorite costume that you wore or you saw somebody else wear growing up, or any Halloween memories you could share with us?
Yeah. A few years back, I dressed up in a suit. I brought around a stethoscope to the party, the gathering I was at, and I get people to feel my pulse with the stethoscope. And I said I was the life of the party. Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Still a couple of months away from getting the season going, but during the fall, opportunities to participate at Samford, at Mercer. Also some individual accolades that we'll get to in a moment. But as you head into your second year after such a successful year one, how do you take your program forward?
Yeah, I think obviously in the past and this first year, I think there are a lot of good steps made forward, but it's the same kind of process of how we got to establish who we are at the beginning of the year and just take another mindset of what do we have to do today to get better. You know, a big emphasis on our team is just our identity, what we get confidence from, and a big word we always use is just our toughness. And we've been really emphasizing just how are we going to simplify that, how are we going to exemplify that to its simplest form on a daily basis. And I think the guys are doing well with that so far.
How would you say the toughness came into play in year one, winning a regular season championship and getting to the Sun Belt Conference Finals?
Yeah, I think it was everything, because I think what our guys learned in last year was that just because you're winning matches doesn't mean everything's going smoothly. Just because you have an opportunity doesn't mean it's coming at the right time, and you have to make the most of what you got in that day. I mean, there are a ton of times during the season where, I mean, we had some of our best players out, and we had guys that hadn't really had playing time in the past, and they really stepped up. And I think at the end of the day, we were just thinking, okay, what's gonna make this a program with sustained success, and how the guys handle that, I think, sets us up really, really well for the future.
In your first go-around in the Sun Belt Conference, how would you classify the level of competition in the league?
Yeah, it's strong. I mean, it's strong, but I'm confident in our guys. I think we're strong, pretty damn strong too.
With Demetrius Polioris recently getting announced he's going to be participating in the ITA Conference Masters Championships November 7th through the 10th. If you would, emphasize what that means and how important that is to the program for him to get that kind of accolade and that kind of experience.
It's great. It's great, for one, because Georgia Southern, we've never had an individual qualify for the NCAA individuals. It means that he's taken a step closer, but I think more so it just means that I think we're doing some good things as a team, because I think it's a product of what he's doing every day. It's a product of what the team's doing every day, and just the kind of environment that we're creating that, okay, it doesn't matter where you come in, you're going to come here and you're going to get better, and you're going to compete at the highest level. So it's great, and I'm really excited to see how he's going to do. I think he's put in a ton of good work like the rest of our team. And, yeah, we got another week to really hone in and get ready for it, and I think he's going to do great.
How has he personally taken that next step after he's already had such a great career here, but how can he end the right way?
I think he's got to keep doing what he's doing. One thing we talk about with our team of embodying toughness is I think tough people, you got to be where your feet are. You know, you're not comparing yourself to something you've done in the past, or you're not looking forward to what you're doing in the future, but you're attacking what's in front of you, where your feet are, with enthusiasm and coming with that same hunger to get better, because I think there's definitely a standard that he's set for himself, but when he's taking out the judgment, when he is investing in just going through that process, no matter how it looks, how it feels, he's unbelievable for us, and I think he's going to keep doing it.
You guys recently had an event at Forest Heights, having a chance to connect with one of your alumni in Jacob Mitchell. When you have outreach like that, but also giving guys experiences like Jacob had, and you can tie that all together, how cool was that?
It was great. I mean, Jacob's one of my favorites. He was on our team last year and was a big part in the success that we've had and that we're still having today, just with his support. But I think what makes that great, I mean, just the small town community of Statesboro, getting everybody understanding, like, hey, these are our guys on the team. This is what they're about on a daily basis. This is what they're about just as people. And I'm really big into that, into just getting the guys in front of the community. I want them seeing the bigger role that they have here besides hitting a tennis ball.
How do you go about creating relationships, not just to help in the present, but also create relationships that will have long-lasting impact?
I get to know people. Got to get to know people. I want to see what they're all about. I want to see what makes them tick. I want to see what their goals are, and I feel like you got to invest in them and show them, especially when it comes to the team, that it's more than about just hitting a tennis ball, and showing them what we're doing today. How does this apply to what you're going to have to do 4 years from now? How does this apply to some of the challenges you're going to have to face when you're older? And yeah, I mean, that's a big part of my why, of why I'm doing it, and how I'm really driven to coach what I coach with the team, because I think hitting the ball is the simple part. It's just getting everybody's perspective in the right place and getting them ready to work on a daily basis and getting them to understand they have everything they need to be great on any given day.
What's a challenge that you personally dealt with that you've shared with them to say, hey, don't necessarily do what I did, but this is what you're capable of overcoming?
You said we only got like 10 minutes, right?
Hey, you got about 70 seconds.
Yeah, we'd be here all night if we talked about all the screw-ups I had, but a big part of it is just making sure not everything has to work out perfectly for you to get what you want in this. And I think a big part of it is knowing how you identify yourself, what you get confidence from. I know I said it a little earlier, but I sound like a broken record saying it, but it's what I'm about with our team every day. Of like, you got to know who you're all about. You got to have confidence that if I bring that to the highest standards, I can tackle anything in front of me, and that's a big thing I'm with our team, because I want them confident. I want them knowing I don't care who we're playing, where we're playing, what we're playing. We're going to get it done.
By the way, Falcons 4-0 in division play. That's got to put you in a good mood.
Puts me in a great mood. And 2-0 against the Bucks. Don't have to see them again. It's great.
Andrew, I appreciate you being here tonight. Best of luck throughout the rest of the fall. We'll catch up with you.
Thanks, Danny.
That is men's tennis head coach Andrew Goodwin talking EU football after the timeout. Head coach Clay Helton up on stage. We're at Wildwood Cafe in Statesboro, and this is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield.
Since 1945, the Sack Company has established its reputation by safely providing high-quality construction services. The Sack Company consistently demonstrates the highest level of professionalism, safety, and attention to details. Their hands-on experience in all phases of construction assure that you will get quality performance in a timely and cost-effective method. Accountability, care, excellence, innovation, integrity, safety, teamwork. The Sack Company. We bring business to life.
On game day, success starts with a great game plan. No matter if you're at home or on the road, greatness starts here with the Ford F-150 truck, delivering a rare combination of power and smart technology like the available Class Exclusive Pro Power onboard. Ford F-150 helps make great things possible. See your local Ford dealer and score a great offer on F-150. See owner's manual for important operating instructions. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds. GVWR.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When it comes to your heating and cooling needs, don't sacrifice your comfort. Ogeechee Heating and Air has served Southeast Georgia and surrounding communities for more than 15 years. With more than 35 years of industry experience, these licensed and insured heating contractors have the experience and know-how to get your HVAC job done right the first time. Whether you're selecting a new heating or cooling system, repairing an existing system, or you just want lower energy bills and a healthier home, Ogeechee Heating and Air has the service and expertise you're looking for. Call today, 912-739-4035.
BBWH Insurers, owned and operated by Georgia Southern alumni, has been serving Southeast Georgia since 1888. Our partnerships with quality A-plus rated carriers such as the Central Mutual Insurance Companies provide affordable and comprehensive coverage for your family and business. BBWH Insurers protects and supports our own. That's our true blue promise to you. Call me, Ashley Ellis, at 912-764-9602 or visit us online at bbwhins.com. And go Eagles!
Eagle Nation, I'm here with Morris Bank Chairman and CEO Spence Mullis. Now, Spence, I know Morris Bank has deep roots to Georgia Southern.
That's right. We have a lot of Eagles on our team here at Morris Bank, and we know what it means to bleed blue. We always say it pays to bank blue because we believe, like Georgia Southern football, that getting after it every day with a strong work ethic leads to success. We're proud to be this year's season presenting sponsor of Georgia Southern football and to show our support for Eagle Nation. Morris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Pioneer Design and Marketing is the official marketing partner of Georgia Southern Athletics. Serving clients locally and globally, Pioneer is a design and digital marketing studio helping courageous brands stake their claim in crowded markets. From logos to websites to digital marketing strategies, these proud Georgia Southern alumni will get the right message in front of the right people to help you gain new ground. Pioneer Design and Marketing, building brands that gain new ground. Find them online at madebypioneer.com.
The grind does not stop.
Goes up and hammers it with a right hand. Snap back left wing three. Yes! Yes! With 17 left!
Hail Southern and GATA.
They're competing each day, playing really hard, and that's a foundational thing for us.
Just stand confident, stand in the gym.
When people watch us play, we want our effort to stand out.
Follow the Eagles on the hardwood all season on the Georgia Southern Sports Network from Learfield.
Snap to French, they want the screen. Dallas the catch, but for the hashes, goes across the 50, now to the 40, 35, 30, Dallas still galloping, 20, 15, 10, 5, wings up Eagle Nation, no flags, touchdown Georgia Southern. Longest offensive play of the season for the Eagles, a 59-yard receiving score for Josh Dallas on 3rd down and 7 during the second quarter last Thursday at Old Dominion. Eagles leaving town with a 5-3 overall record, 3-1 in conference play, currently tied for first in the East Division. They'll take on 3-1 South Alabama from the West Division. That's a 7:30 Eastern kick on Saturday in Mobile. We'll be live at 5:30 with the Cutwater Spirits Tailgate Show. Getting into some detail with Eagle football. Eagle Nation, please welcome in head coach Clay Helton to Wild Wing Cafe.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, we talked about this with Coach Goodwin already in his Halloween costume, and before, I don't know if it was the last year or the year before where you were Travis Kelce and Miss Angela was Taylor Swift. You had your staff your staff trick-or-treat last night, so what was the costume this year?
There's a lot of get to and got to moments in life. I get to dress up for Halloween with all the kids, and so I was a firefighter. And Miss Angela, do you think she was a Dalmatian or do you think she was fire?
I'm not answering that question.
As she's always been, hot as fire.
Did you wear the hat?
I did wear the hat, suspenders, all. I was full get up.
Is there a chance that you could bring a picture for next week?
You'd have to ask Miss Angela on that one. I'm hoping those were destroyed.
If you have any questions for Fireman Helton, you can tweet in at GS Sports Network or submit those on Facebook Live. Getting ready, Coach, for another monster game this week. Again, in a way, it's for first place. You're currently tied with Old Dominion, even though they hold the tiebreaker. But when you put yourself in this position, every game down the stretch can have a little bit more meaning than the one before it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, like I said in media today, you play so well over 3 games. You're on a 3-game winning streak. You set a standard and expectation, and then you don't meet that standard, and you lose a game. And obviously from a staff, from players, we're all disappointed, very much so. But when you're sitting here, at the beginning of January, and you say, what do you want to be when you hit November? You hit November and you go, man, we want to be in first place where November is relevant, where it means something.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we find ourselves here at the top of the East, tied for first place with 4 games to go, getting ready to battle a team that's competing for first place, on the Western side.
Right.
And this is where you want to be. So you keep your poise, you address the corrections that need to be made, and then you prep like heck, for the next team, and you get to the next game. And that's what our kids did. I thought they did a phenomenal job on Sunday, coming in with a great attitude, a great mindset, kind of a chip on their shoulder. They have been a great response team up until now. They responded after Boise. They responded after Ole Miss. And I know they'll respond again. I believe in them.
You've always told us that whether it's after a win or after a loss, the important thing is to be real with your guys. How challenging is that after a game like Thursday?
Well, I think, one, you got to be vulnerable and say, hey, as a leader, you got to own it. And I'll always own it. If we lose, it's on me. Now, my job is to also tell them, hey, as leaders of men and as players, you also look at yourself and say, hey, what could I have done better in that game? Well, let's address it. Let's identify what we could have done better. Let's correct it. And let's make sure that, we go on another win streak here where it means the most in November.
Do you feel like you're going to get a chance to learn even more about your team because you have a chance to go back on the road and right a wrong?
Yeah, definitely. It reminds me, you come out after that Boise game and you got to make that road trip the next week to Nevada, and it's going to be a hard-fought game. It feels like that. It feels like that again. It feels the exact same way. You come off a hard road win at Ole Miss. What do you got to do? You got to go right to Atlanta and after a hurricane and go play Georgia State. This team has been built for adversity. They've handled it very well. I got asked a question earlier today, Coach. You're in year 3. What do you see the differences now being in this point? You've been, you were 6-2 last year. You're going in. What's the difference? And I think, 1, we're a deeper football team.
Sure.
2, I think we're a healthier football team than we've ever been. Credit to Coach Ice and the technology Jared has supplied us to maintenance our kids. But 3, we're a mature football team. In year 1, it was Marr. It was Derwin Burgess. It was Jalen White. It was Dalen Cobb. It was Latrell Bullard. It was Marc Stampley. All those, they were all puppies. So they were babies. Yeah. And now they sit here and they're 3rd and 4th year kids that have been through the process and understand what it takes to win tough games. And I think that's a leg up, So I look forward to seeing that maturity come right back this game and go play at a high level.
Marc Stampley is going to join us in just a little bit to talk about playing 3 different positions in the defensive backfield this season, helping seal that Marshall victory with the pick in the final few seconds. But to bring up the technology increase, this is something we don't get a chance to speak too much about. The catapult system that's come up before with the load management, but also the use of the guardian caps in practice. That's been there for years. The NFL is approving that for possibly use in games, not just during practice sessions. How does all of that get you the most possible ready to go into battle?
Yeah, when we first came here, Jared said, Coach, what do you need? And we sat down and did a blueprint of what do we need in nutrition, strength and conditioning, what do we need in rehabilitation, And one of the things that came up is having the catapult system to be able to manage workload of players, not only within game, to see exactly what they actually did within a game, what was their workload, and how do you have to manage them through the week to make sure they're healthy and they don't suffer major injuries that could be season ending. We talked about revamping a training room totally, not only with additional personnel, but also the technology needed, and spend $150,000 to totally revamp, a training room. And our players feel that, and they're using that technology even in the weight room with the perch system to be able to manage workload in there, to be able to log, as well as them be able to see the driving force that they're using each and every rep. So it's something that I think has made a healthier football team, a stronger football team. And here we are in November, and you look up and all of a sudden you lose a Justin Rhodes for a couple games. Well, there's Elijah Fall. There's Christian Varner. There's Troy Pikes. Yeah. So not only did you recruit to the depth, but you're keeping it healthy also.
How would you assess the health going into not just the weekend back on the road for South Alabama, but just as you're trying to practice so you can feature that depth that much more?
Yeah, I think we came out of that game last week really healthy offensively. I think we're in a position defensively, hopefully maybe to get a couple guys back. I think Chance Gamble has got a chance. He's going to start practicing this week. We'll see how that goes. Justin Rhodes will start practicing this week. We'll see how that goes. I think T.J. Smith's probably a little bit further down the line. But you may get a couple guys back, which always helps, especially down the center of that. Anytime that you're talking about interior guys and then a nice cover corner, that always helps.
People get excited when they see the 2 deep come out each week. You've got the 11 starters, the guys that will naturally back them up. But we've gotten to a point in really all of athletics where you need to show a 3 and 4 deep. There's a lot of ands, there's a lot of ors. It's not just 22 on either side of the football. It's whoever is ready enough to play. And in the case of younger guys, you can get up to 4 games plus whatever you get in the postseason to still get them experience.
Yeah, depth is ultra important. And you even, I listened to that, that first highlight you just played. And there's Josh Dallas. Yeah. Coming into this season, it was Derwin Burgess, it was Dalen Cobb. Oh gosh, there's this LV Bunky Shelton, but Josh was just coming on the scene, and all of a sudden you get that young talent that is really matured and ready to go make big plays, and they are. And that's a credit to Ryan Smith for the recruiting job that he's done. We continue to, I think, add great commitments to this already a strong football team, and we'll just continue to build talent.
Hail Southern Live is brought to you in part by our friends at Core Credit Union. We'll continue our conversation with head coach Clay Helton. This is Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro, and this is Hail Southern Live on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Eagle Nation, this is Kennedy Finch, the Executive Director of the Eagle Nation Collective. Your passion fuels our pride, and we're looking to add to our roster at the Eagle Nation Collective. For as little as $1 a day, you can help our athletes train harder, play smarter, and create those championship moments. We want to see 2,000 new members by the end of the season, and Eagle Nation, we need you to help us get there. Together, let's soar higher than ever before. Visit EagleNationNIL.com to join the Eagle Nation Collective today.
Your cargo transportation choice in Savannah and the Southeast. For freight management, consolidation, warehousing, and more, including flexible and responsive drayage solutions. Your success is our final destination. Savannah Logistics Group.
A logistics company that strives to deliver the best drivers, employees, and customer experience through our core values of empowerment, innovation, and consistency. Savannah Logistics Group, a proud supporter of Georgia Southern Athletics.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network, now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
A true teammate takes on every day with a winner's attitude, gets up when they fall down, and leaves it all on the field. There's a group of teammates who do all these things every single day. But they're more than your typical athlete. They're kids dealing with unthinkable medical circumstances. Team Impact matches children facing serious illness or disability with college sports teams, creating a long-term, life-changing experience for everyone involved. Help us get all kids in the game. Visit teamimpact.org. Team Impact. All in, all together.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup as the top college athletic programs for the 2024-25 college athletic season? You can follow the standings of your favorite team or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2025 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
What's up, fans? This is Roddy Jones, co-host of College Sports Now. We're breaking down all the action from around the country weekly during the football season. We'll look beyond the box score and keep our finger on the pulse of college football from September all the way to the national championship game in January, from the East Coast to the West Coast. Listen all season long on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you love to get your podcast. And while you're at it, be sure to give us a follow along on Twitter at CSNowTweets.
Powered by Learfield. Welcome back to Hale's Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now, let's return live to Wild Wing Cafe. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Georgia Southern Athletics brought to you in part by Georgia Power. Georgia Power, a Southern company. We're back at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro for Hale's Southern Live, presented each week by Morris Bank. One more time on the road, the second to last road game of the year for the Blue and White in Mobile, 7:30 Eastern on Saturday at Hancock Whitney Stadium against the South Alabama Jaguars. 4-4 overall, but 3-1 in conference play. We'll talk about them in our final segment. Also have a chance to catch up with defensive back Marc Stampley. Another segment with head coach Clay Helton. If you have any questions or comments, Facebook Live is your best friend. You can also submit those via @GS Sports Network on X. The special teams we've spoken about time and time again. They've been elite in a number of different ways, but I think that we got to spend some more time on Alex Smith, because people say, well, how has he improved? I think that going from somebody that was a tennis player that looked like a college football player putting on pads to now looking like a college football player, he's made an unreal transformation.
Yeah, he really has, and really has become a master of his craft. You look at his overall net and what he's accomplishing, and people are getting 0 to maybe 1 return against him just because of his location, and that's why we signed him, to have the ability to help coverage, be able to place the ball wherever we want to based on where the returner is, based on where the rush is coming from. He's an absolute weapon. He's as important as a quarterback, important as a great receiver, he's important as a great pass rusher. He supplies field position, and he's done it at an elite level.
He's punted 40 times this year. 20 of those have been fair caught. That's the 4th most fair catches of anybody in the country, 15 inside the 20. And when you've got coverage units that have DeMarcus Robinson, Chris Crouch, Jeff Smith, and Reed Dedman, those are guys that want to be on the field because they love that third part of the game.
Yeah, you know what's been really neat because of, one, the job that Coach West does, how he sells special teams, and the commitment of our older guys like Jeff, like Reed, like Jet Thompson, guys that have been on these teams. They played at such a high level, the young guys want to be a part of it. Then you add like big playmakers like Dre Buchanan in the return game, and everybody wants to be able to help out to score non-offensive touchdowns, which they know the head coach, that's his favorite thing on earth. So it's something that I've been proud of to watch grow over the last 3 years. I think Coach West has done his best job in his time here this year, and our kids are playing at a really high level on it.
You said this after the game last Thursday. You said it earlier today. You said it earlier tonight. The response going into this weekend will be absolutely vital to seeing, number one, how the team dealt with last Thursday, but also how they're going to set themselves up for the rest of the season. Over these next few days of practice, what do you need to see that will show you that they are prepared to respond?
Well, one, I think they've corrected what had happened in last game. They identified it, they accepted it, and you have to face reality of what we did poorly and address it, and they did that. Then I think you got to be able to look at a really good South Alabama team and say, okay, here's what their strengths are. You know, let's try to dive in and take away their strength in each phase, and you know, make somebody else make plays. And so our coordinators have been yesterday, today, game planning that. We'll install the first game base game plan in tomorrow, and our kids will get started with it.
A lot of the conversation around the Jaguars has been that offense. They scored 87 in a game earlier this year against Northwestern State, followed that up with 48 against App State. They just outscored ULM 34-0 in the second half for a 46-17 win, but don't ignore the fact that in conference play they're giving up 14 points per game. Yeah. They've only allowed 6 touchdowns in 4 league games.
Yeah, definitely. They're playing a high level. They really have had a chance to be 4-0 in league. They played a really close ball game against Arkansas State that went right down to the end. Could have gone either way, but they're playing great football. Offensively, they got 2 runners that, you know, obviously combined have over 1,000 yards. You know, quarterback already has 350 himself in rushing, plus operating really efficiently in the pass game with 13 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Defensively, creating turnovers, one of the top in the country at +10 turnover margin. You know, so they're playing championship football right now. And you look at 2 teams that are at the top of their league getting ready to compete against each other. It's going to be the team that doesn't shoot themselves in the foot, you know, that doesn't have the turnovers, doesn't have the penalties. Usually these games are ultra close and they come down to 3 or 4 plays that could go either way, and hopefully they go the way of the Eagles.
When you have an opposing offense that is so capable of making so many big plays, how do you build a defense to not only limit that, but to your point, gain advantage in the turnover category?
Yeah, definitely. You know, Danny, you look at that game, which was so impressive against Louisiana Monroe, and you say, okay, let's break this thing down. Well, over 350 rushing yards.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have to be great on first and second down efficiency, in my mind, against this team. They live in a ball control environment. When they're in 3rd and 1 to 5, they are ultra effective. You got to be able to do what you did at James Madison. Very similar football team that really was great on first and second down efficiency. You got to get some 3rd and longs and get them out of the RPO game, out of the play action naked game, and get them more in a drop back atmosphere where they just don't do it as much as they do the other categories.
And on the flip side, we've seen you guys run the ball successfully in league play. 261 against Georgia State, 190 against James Madison. How do you tap back into that against a team that's also they're number 1 in the league in rush defense?
Yeah, definitely. This is something that is going to be really important to be able to support a quarterback. You know, as you go into that game versus Old Dominion, you know, everybody, you get all the accolades as a head coach and a quarterback when you win. You get the other side of it when you lose, and we just felt that. You know, but you also need the support around you. You need defensive stops. You need really elite special teams. You need a running game, you know, that supports you. So all of a sudden you go to Georgia State, and you have a really effective running game, that game with 200-yard rushers, it supports a quarterback. You know, you play James Madison, you have a really effective run game, you know, with a 100-yard rusher in Jalen White. It supports a quarterback, you know. So it's going to be really important to support JC, you know, with an effective run game right off the bat against a really talented defense.
You did mention in your press conference earlier today that Dexter Williams, he got that 1 snap in the second quarter before coming in to finish things up before giving way to Tyler Budge, so you got a chance to get him his debut, but you played 3 different quarterbacks. But you mentioned that there may be some enhanced opportunities to see what else the offense could do depending on who's taking the snaps.
Yeah, definitely. We're going in JC as a starter, and I sat down with Coach Applin as well as both quarterbacks. I addressed in the media today.
Yeah.
You get to November and you're playing for championships, and each game is so important. It's like going out, I'm watching the World Series game the other day. You go out there as a starting pitcher and you're doing your job, you get to stay in the game, you know, and you hope you get to pitch all 9 innings. You know, if you're not, if you're off, then the reliever's got to be able to come in. JC's job is to go out there and perform at a very high level and go win us the football game. That's what this time of year is about. We do have an effective reliever. And Dex has done some good things, has had his growing pains too, as we saw the other night. I was hoping to run the ball a little bit more with the quarterback and have him be a part of that, but we had an early turnover with him, and then, we're down 3 scores, and that dynamic of that game changed a little bit. But I thought he bounced back really well after that early play. He come right back at the end of the game and did a nice job of leading to a score. And so, we're fortunate to have 2 good quarterbacks, and we're going to at least need one, and we may need both down the stretch here to be able to, try to go 1-0 each week.
Yankees versus Dodgers, is it way too easy to say that you're pulling for the Dodgers? Or if you get a chance to watch any of this, what are you looking for?
I tell you what, I got to watch Game 1. I didn't get to watch Game 2. What an unbelievable, historic night that was. Yeah. And when I was at USC, I got to know Aaron Boone a little bit, and he was such an unbelievable gentleman, would always text congratulations, he's a former Trojan. So, you live in L.A. for 12 years. You root for the Dodgers, but you also got a great guy in Coach Boone that I dearly love. So I got a slight edge to the Dodgers after living there 12 years.
We'll talk with Marc Stampley after this timeout. Then we'll close things out with Coach Helton. Further deeping look at the South Alabama Jaguars. Stamp coming up next. Wild Wing Cafe and Statesboro. This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield.
Don't let an injury keep you on the sidelines. So go where the pros go. Optum Orthopedics. They're the official orthopedics and team physicians for Georgia Southern Athletics. Thanks to Optum, our Eagles get the best care on and off the field. The good news is that Optum is here for you too. Located in our community, Optum is the leader in advanced orthopedic care throughout the Southeast. Like the Eagles, you deserve the freedom to soar. With Optum's fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, you will. Your team, your community, your freedom. Optum Orthopedics, they're here for you.
Did you know that Yancey Rents is a Georgia-owned rental company serving Georgia since 1914? Yancey Rents has excavators, dozers, backhoe loaders, small dump trucks, water trucks, concrete saws, light towers, scissor lifts, and so much more. We've got a huge selection of equipment ready to be rented today. Call 844-YNC-RENT or check us out at yanceyrents.com. With 16 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Since 1945, the SAC Company has established its reputation by safely providing high-quality construction services. The SAC Company consistently demonstrates the highest level of professionalism, safety, and attention to details. Their hands-on experience in all phases of construction assure that you will get quality performance in a timely and cost-effective method. Accountability, care, excellence, innovation, integrity, safety, teamwork. The SAC Company. We bring business to life.
Hey there, Eagle Nation. Do you like to buy local? How about natural and sustainable? The next time you go and buy some Eagle merchandise, make sure to buy cotton. Cotton is grown right here in Georgia by local farmers in every corner of the state. Cotton from Georgia is as true blue as Sweetheart Circle or Eagle Creek. Support your community by buying cotton. This message is brought to you by the family farmers of the Georgia Cotton Commission.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
I love watching my child grow through football, learning values and life skills that extend beyond the playing field. Now, there are more ways to play than ever before, from flag to tackle and beyond, with opportunities for boys and girls at any age. To find the right team, explore FutureForFootball.com's new League Locator tool and explore nearby leagues. It's never been easier to get your family involved in the game.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
There was flames on that ball.
The speed.
35, 40. There he goes. Down the sideline.
The best in college football.
For the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You can unhitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Back in the end zone. 30, 20. Say goodnight to this one.
This is the College Football Blitz. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
Old Dominion at its 30 with a 1st and 10 gun snap. The clap, ball sent back. It's a play fake. Eagles send pressure. Marc Stampley brings him down. The ball comes out. Old Dominion does recover. Stampley came on the blitz, and Old Dominion has recovered at the 22-yard line. I thought the arm might have been going forward anyway. Give Stampley the sack. Hail Southern Live continues from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. About 20 minutes left in this week's edition. It was his 2nd sack of the season for the guy that wore number 0 last week in Norfolk. Eagle Nation, give it up for Marc Stampley.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm not calling you just a corner, just a safety, just a nickel, just a defensive back. You're a football player. You're able to do a lot of different things in this defense this year.
Yes, sir. I've just been trying to help where I can, honestly.
You came here as a corner, moved to nickel, had to play a little safety this year, but to do those 3 in 3 straight weeks, what did that take?
It just took just a lot of prep and training, but my coaches was there. They was there to help me get right in each position, help me feel prepared, so I just be ready and feel confident once it came game day.
Now, of course, Coach Bailey is overseeing everything, but as you're shifting position by position, are you have to learning from different coaches, or are you having to spend 1 week with one coach, 1 week with another? How did that all work out?
For the main part, when I was at safety and nickel, it was pretty much the same coach with Coach Bailey, but as I moved to corner, I just had to shift to Coach Safford for the time being.
What was the honor like of wearing the number 0 last Thursday?
It was amazing. It was a true blessing. I couldn't ask much anything else for, but it was just amazing honor to represent what it means to wear number 0 and just the history behind it and everything.
Coach likes to do that in the gathering in the team room before that Thursday practice, but when you realize that it's you and you see the reaction of the rest of the room, what's that feeling like?
It's just a special, unreal moment, just a moment from the teammates, just their energy, their reaction, and just the moment itself with Coach's speech and the situation behind it. It's just an amazing experience.
Your dad played defensive back in college.
Yes, sir.
How much, if any, film have you watched of him when he played in McNeese?
Just a tad bit, whatever I could find of there was.
Do you notice anything about the way that you play, or does he tell you, man, you look like me out there? Or
a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, he tries to remind me that I play similar to his game and everything, just the way I'm flying to the ball, and that I remind myself of him alike.
When you play his position as a second-generation guy, how much more meaning is it behind it that you're representing your family like that?
Oh, it's just a huge meaning. Just from playing his position to having his full name being the second itself is just a true meaning, knowing that's on the back of my jersey and knowing who I'm playing for.
Is it hit you that this is your 3rd season here? Because it's surprising sometimes. Man, he's been here since 22. You came here when Coach Helton did, so this is your junior year already.
I know, yeah. It's really been hitting me a little bit this year. Yes, it's really here. I'm junior, and I got 1 year left.
What have you learned the most about yourself and about who you are as a football player?
Just what I could truly be in life, and just what comes with playing football, and just how it builds you as a person. Like, just everything that happens, like especially facing adversity, that's probably the biggest thing I learned, that once you're going to get hit in life with adversity, and life is 90% of not what happens to you, but how you overcome it. So,
as a defensive player, oftentimes you're the one that's doing the hitting, but in a metaphorical sense, when you're the one that's getting hit, how do you deal with it? How have you learned to deal with adversity?
Really just sticking to my roots, and just looking back what built me to where I become, like just looking back on God, looking back on friends and family, just helping me get through adversity, whatever the problem is or the situation is, and just knowing what's helped me before helped me get past it.
I know how close you are with your family and how much of a support system that they've built for you. It seems like whenever you're making a play, it's not just for you, it's for everybody that has that last name. It's a really cool thing for you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they're the biggest and best support system I could ever ask for. They're honestly what has truly gotten me to this point, just knowing them, how they have my back and always there for me through the ups and downs is truly the best feeling ever.
There's a lot of highlights we could have used to bring that in from break. We could have used the Marshall highlight to win that game. Let's go back to that. After that crazy comeback, to seal it the way that you did, what's the juices like? What is it like when the ball is in your hand, you realize, I just won this game for us, or I helped us win this game?
That was just like probably the most surreal, craziest experience in my career, just how the game played out and how it ended, and just me being able to, God giving me the ability to just be able to finish the game off and catch that pick. That was probably my greatest pick in my career, or interception.
Are there any others in high school that stand out?
Nah, not like that. Probably a few other plays, but not like that.
Okay. To have the impact that you've had this year with the interceptions, with the sacks, I wanted to highlight you as a pass rusher because that's a part of your game that is very underrated, your ability to get to the quarterback. We oftentimes see, he's got interceptions, he's got the pass breakups, but when you're asked to go get the quarterback, how do you process that and how do you attack it?
It's just like one of those things, like, it's like one of those things, once you get the opportunity to get, or you have the opportunity to do, you got to get it done. Like, because as a DB, we barely get to rush the passer or have the ability to get a sack. So it's like, once it's there, I give it my all and just put everything into it to get there and just get the job done.
You guys will be heading on the road again this weekend, going to Mobile for a Saturday battle against South Alabama. But you were born in New Orleans. It's just a couple of hours away. Your family's got a lot of roots in the Louisiana area. How much more meaning is there behind it from that standpoint?
Oh, it's just it's a huge lot of meaning, and I feel like I know a bunch of families going to be there, so it's just going to be a big game, and I just can't wait for it, just knowing they're there and they're supporting me, and I'm just playing for them.
This is typically the guys' off day, so you'll launch into your prep full go tomorrow with practice, getting ready for the Jaguars. But
yes, sir.
What do you know about South Alabama at this point, what you've heard, maybe what you've seen a little bit in their first 8 games?
They're definitely a solid, good team. They have a decent run attack, 2 good backs back there. They have a solid offense, and it's just going to be a good game. We just going to have to bring our all to the table.
When you don't have football consuming 24/7, 365, what other things do you like to do?
Really just hang out with friends. I like to play video games when I can. That just gives me a time to relax. But, yeah, really just hang out with friends. Just cool time, chill time. Always a great time with them. Listen to music when I can. Just little stuff like that. Yes, sir.
Did I see that you played the trumpet at one point?
Yes, sir, back in middle school.
Okay, what got you into that?
I don't know. I was just in middle school, really wanted something else to do besides like sports and all. So I just decided to join the band. And at first I was going to be a drummer, but then being from Louisiana, New Orleans, I was like, the trumpet just fits my roots.
Fair enough. That's good. That's very good by you. I appreciate that very much.
Yes, sir.
With having 4 games left, this team still has all of its goals out in front, but you take it one game at a time, 1-0 for 4 straight weeks.
Definitely.
How do you make sure that that's the focus?
Literally just, like you said, really just focusing in on the opponent we're playing this week, putting all into this week, not worried about next week or whatever down the line, really just preparing ourselves mentally and physically for the week before and just not worried about the other stuff and other distractions outside of it.
Now, is there a chance we see you play wide receiver or kicker or punter since you played so many positions already this year, or we just going to stick in the defensive backfield?
Well, you never know. Wherever they need me, I'll be there.
I'd like to see you return some kicks if we could work it out. So I know Dre's really good at it, but I'd like to see you return some kicks too.
Could be seen in the near future.
Mark, appreciate you being here. Congratulations. Thanks very much.
Thank you for having me. Yes,
That's defensive back Marc Stampley, a positive guy, a great influence on the rest of this program. Coach Helton back with us in just a moment. We'll talk more South Alabama after this. You're listening to Georgia Southern Football, powered by Learfield. Eagle Nation, this is Danny Reed reminding you to catch a new edition of the Inside Eagle Nation podcast every Tuesday on gseagles.com and the Varsity Network app. We'll catch you up on the week that was and preview the week that will be. We've got stories, we've got history, we've got everything you love about Georgia Southern athletics, all on the Inside Eagle Nation podcast. That's every Tuesday on gseagles.com and the Varsity Network app, covering all things blue and white. Tune in each Tuesday for Inside Eagle Nation.
Hey, Eagle fans, the 2024 football season is here, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the touchdown celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Georgia Southern football games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Georgia Southern Eagles. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
Yellowwood knows that a five-star backyard is the place to make lasting memories. Like cookouts. Cornhole with friends. Ooh, a neighborhood potluck with your wife's pasta salad. The one with the feta. Oh, sorry. Or taking a nap on your deck in a hammock. Naps are memories. I love naps. For five-star backyards and the most memorable experiences, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have that yellow tag, you don't want it.
When it comes to your heating and cooling needs, don't sacrifice your comfort. Ogeechee Heating and Air has served Southeast Georgia and surrounding communities for more than 15 years. With more than 35 years of industry experience, these licensed and insured heating contractors have the experience and know-how to get your HVAC job done right the first time. Whether you're selecting a new heating or cooling system, repairing an existing system, or you just want lower energy bills and a healthier home, Ogeechee Heating and Air has the service and expertise you're looking for. Call today, 912-739-4035.
Hey y'all, this is Michael Felder, co-host of College Sports Now. We're breaking down all the action from around the country every week during the football season. We'll look beyond the box score and keep our finger on the pulse of college football from September all the way through the national championship game in January. Listen all season long on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you love to get your favorite podcast. And be sure to follow along on Twitter at CSNowTweets.
The Eagles soar here.
Offensive rebound and a putback. Two-handed slam.
We are expecting to have to play 40 minutes.
We definitely want to give fans a show.
Got to give our guys a great plan and get them locked in to go into execute it.
Step back left wing three. Yes! Yes!
Just enjoying every moment, soaking it all in.
Listen to the Eagles take flight all year.
We stayed together, battled through adversity, and walked out of here with a win. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
On the Georgia Southern Sports Network from Learfield. This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield. Live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's Danny Reed.
Just a few minutes left in this week's edition of Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Another road trip for the Georgia Southern Eagles to Mobile, taking on South Alabama. Coach, you know what time that means. It's coming up on another need to go to Savannah Hilton International Airport.
Yeah, they do a great job. Treat our team so well, get us in and out. And we've got another flight this week. We've had a couple this year, and it's been nothing but first class in Savannah International.
FlySAV.com for more information. The official airport of the Georgia Southern Eagles, Savannah Hilton International. We've spoken a little bit about South Alabama already. We'll get to them in just a moment. But how cool is Marc Stampley?
Oh, my goodness.
How great is he?
You're talking about one of the all-time class guys. I mean, and there's a reason you earn the number 0.
Yeah.
I mean, that means you have zero accountability issues. You have zero discipline issues, zero selfishness in your body. You know, you put the team over yourself. And that guy, going from nickel, then asked to go do safety where he thrived, and then having, with injury, having to go out the corner and doing that at such a high level, plus being, a face of a program now as an older guy and just being first class. And I'll say it because I'm so proud of him, got baptized on Sunday.
Awesome.
And so proud of him in every way possible. Just absolutely love the guy.
Mark comes in to the South Alabama game, top 5 in the league in passes defended, having an all-conference caliber season. I would think that playing 3 positions in 3 weeks alone would be enough for consideration. Looking for a team-wide performance to get back on track and 4-1 in conference play. 10th all-time meeting between the Eagles and Jaguars. You saw them in your first season in 2022. Personnel's a little bit different, but your impression of that program, having seen them on the field.
Yeah, really impressed with Coach Applewhite. Always have been. You know, brilliant offensive mind that's done it again. When you look at these two teams, you know, in conference play, you're talking about the number 2 and number 3 offense going up against each other, but also playing a high level of defense. They're really playing good team football. And, you know, up until last game, that was our MO of supporting each other on each phase and really leaning on each other. And so we're going to get back to that. They're doing that right now in the last 2 games, playing great team football, and impressed with Major. Always have been.
On the defensive side, a week ago, it was the uniqueness of that ODU scheme, that 3-man front, that star defense. This 4-2-5 that South Alabama runs, it seems like they do things a little bit differently as well.
Yeah, definitely. They jump in and out of 4 down and odd, so it really primarily affects your run game. Offensive linemen have to be able to know kind of, because the combination calls are different for a 4-down front compared to an odd front. So you really got to be able to diagnose what they're in and then make your calls in the run game and be effective in it. And they do a good job of staying off balance and trying to keep you off balance with those 2 different fronts. And they do a good job of coverage hides. You know, primarily a zone coverage team, jumping in and out of cover 3, 4 under 3 deep to cover 2. They'll play some man in the red zone and on short yardage. They just do an overall good job. There's a reason that, you know, they're plus 10 right now in turnover margin. They're one of the top defenses, not only in our league, but in the nation. And it's a really good quality football team that could easily be 4-0 in conference. They're 3-1 right now, but they're 2 plays away from being undefeated in conference.
It's not just the teams that have been on the Eagles' schedule this year, but all across the country, it seems that turnovers on the whole are way down. Mm-hmm. Do you think that that's a product of college football becoming an older game?
Yeah, you know, you're not seeing as many drop back passes. You know, you're seeing a lot of advantage throws, advantage coverage throws based on RPOs. Am I going to hand the ball off versus an advantage front, or am I going to go out to the one-on-one? So you're not seeing as many multi-progression, you know, going through, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th wideout. You're not seeing that as much.
Okay.
A lot of teams are diving into, you know, half field. Hey, I'm going to give this side of the field, you're going to work versus a 1 high coverage. This side of the field, you're going to work versus 2 high. You know, as defenses advance and we've spread the field so much, we've really tried to help the quarterback out. And I think that's why you're seeing fewer and fewer turnovers from the quarterback position because of just the nature of the spread offense.
So many teams are RPO based now, where you see that, okay, they threw it 40 times, they ran it 40 times or whatever. But on average, how many times per game do you see a run play base that turns into a pass?
Yeah, definitely. You probably, you know, when you're looking at games, you're probably calling that, if you have an average of a 70-play game, you probably called 35 runs in that game, and that would be true balance. But probably 10 of those are RPO based.
Yeah.
You know, so they could be a little bit higher throwing percentage because of that. Defenses do a nice job of trying to diagnose your tendencies on first and second down, whether it's down and distance, whether it's personnel groupings, whether it's a certain formation, whether it's a back location. A lot of defensive coordinators will wait for you to line up in formation nowadays, especially with the headset, and then make the call, you know, based on your tendencies. So there's a great chess match that's going on in college football this year with the headsets and trying to diagnose each other.
Do you find yourselves trying to get as much in as possible and then realizing 17, 16, when 15 hits, okay, now he can't hear me anymore?
Yeah, there's no question. You're trying to give as much intel as you can to the quarterback or to the Mike linebacker or to the free safety, whoever you diagnose as your green dot. But, yes, you're coaching them all the way up to 15 seconds.
Yeah. Coach, enjoy the time this week as always. Safe travels getting down to Mobile, and we'll talk about being 1-0 next week when we get ready for Troy.
Sounds great. Thanks, Danny. Hail Southern.
That's head coach Clay Helton. Special thank you as well to Marc Stampley joining us tonight, as well as men's tennis head coach Andrew Goodwin. Eagles back on the road, second straight this weekend in Mobile, Hancock Whitney Stadium against South Alabama. Matchup of 2 3-1 teams in conference play. 7:30 Eastern kick. It's nationally televised on ESPNU. Tune in to the Georgia Southern Sports Network starting at 5:30. For Clara Lakey back at our Learfield studios, Danny Reed signing off from Wild Wing Cafe. We will talk to you Saturday in Mobile on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.